As we get to the final few teams in this overview time, we have the Houston Texans. So the Texans there, they coached by Gary Kubiak. They had a stronger finish to last year than expected. They did have rookie quarterback David Garrard. So Garrard is someone that has been more of a journeyman quarterback. We see him with the Jaguars to start out his career. Then, of course, he went to Seattle for a year, was kind of the interim quarterback for Tavares Jackson because he started the year, made the playoffs. Then Jackson had the start, and he missed the playoffs just by a little bit. Then Garrard was he was kind of a backup in Seattle up until he got the starting job here in Houston. Last year, kind of struggled a bit because, David Carr really took the Jaguars farther than expected. It took them as far as the playoffs. And then, of course, we have Matt Flynn, who was drafted by them, and kind of that, trying to give him opportunity to play, but he's not really that good. So he might just end up being a backup, and I don't think he'll ever really have that true chance of being the guy. Now, CJ Spiller was drafted this year, first-round pick, 14th overall selection. He is definitely going to give them a spark that they desperately need. They've been working with Chris Perry and Willie Parker, and Willie Parker's still there, and Benson's still there. But having that CJ Spiller, more of a spark to this offense, is desperately needed. Check. And then for wide receiver, this has been their weakest point. They used to have Chris Chambers, who was pretty good for them. But, Lewis Murphy, Easley, Yeaman Figures, Matt Jones, no one really good there to throw to. Tight ends being Jermichael Finley. They did draft Dennis Pitta in the 3rd round. So I guess you could partially blame the offense here, the quarterback, but you could also blame the fact that there's not really many people to throw to. So we'll see if Spiller, maybe I'll have Cedric Benson be the running back and Spiller go out as a wide receiver every now and then. But as you can see, their O-line is also not that great, other than Todd Harriman's on the right side. Chirless, who was a 2nd-round pick in 2008, who was a right tackle, moved to left tackle. They do have Andy Levitre, but Levitre was a 1st-round pick last year, but hasn't really done much since. He's sort of been that 76-star dev. But Jake Grove, Andy Alleman at Akron College. So there's a lot of holes here to fix. The Texans could be in the market for a quarterback next year because Garrard is getting older, and he's probably not seen as that special of a quarterback. So with Cam Newton, Blaine Gabbert, Christian Ponder, Jake Locker, Andy Dalton, a lot of quarterbacks who are perceived to be really good, and I think the Texans are probably going to take a shot at one of them in this offseason. Then looking at the defense, I tried building a solid defense for them, but things just fell through. Because they did have Terrell Suggs, who was supposed to be the anchor of the defense, and he is the anchor of the defense. They're paired with D'Amico Ryans, who was a real pick by them, 2006. I drafted him in 9th overall in 2006. So there's their strength. You can see Nate Triplett in their 3-4, not a great middle linebacker too. Chris Gokong, they just recently signed, trying to have some more depth there in their linebacking core with the former Packers, Gabaja, Bialima. As for their D-line, you see Sean Ellis, Rob Sims, and even Ray McDonald. Nothing really special here on the Texans D-line. They did have Matt Roth I drafted before, but he moved on. We tried like Barry Cofield, Barry Cofield's there, but he didn't really turn out to be the guy that I expected him to be. So yeah, a lot of misses with that defensive line. We do have Brandon Williams who's there. Where their strength is their DBs with Adam Pac-Man Jones, Josh Wilson. They do have Jarrett Bush, who was a later round pick. I think Jarrett Bush was a 7th round, 3rd overall pick in 2006. Mike Doss is really their ace in the hole on their defense as a strong safety, superstar dev. And then, of course, Luis Delmas, free safety, kind of doing fairly well. He's a rookie last year, so he's in his sophomore year, star dev, 73 overall. Second round pick. So we'll see how the Texans do. We'll see now going to their special teamers, Tim Misthay and Chris Brown, I believe. So there you go, the Houston Texans. Again, I don't have much hope for them, especially with the Colts being so good. The Titans are shockingly good. I'll get to them in the next video. And then you have Jacksonville with David Carr. Right now, Texans seem to be the lower-ranked team here. Unlikely for them to really take a real playoff run, but we'll have to find out. And we'll see if this might be the last year Gary Kubiak coaches the Texans.